Welcome to Vermontitude, a collaborative effort between Great Eastern Radio, the Brattleboro Reformer, and BCTV to bring you the stories behind the stories on the topics you want to learn more about. Because there's always more, so there'll always be Vermontitude. Hosted by me, Peter Fish Case. Welcome to Vermontitude. New episodes drop every Tuesday and can be found by going to vermontitude.com, reformer.com, brattleboro.tv, and locally on Comcast Channel 1078. We come to you from our studios at the Innovation Box on Landmark Hill. I'm Peter Fish Case, and each week I cover the topics that are of concern to Windham County and the towns that reside within its borders. Joining us today, we're talking to a citizen, Deena Chadwick. Welcome to the program.
Thanks, Peter.
All right. So let me just set this up a little bit for everybody. There is a petition going around for one person, one vote that has to do with the budget process and making sure that everybody gets to weigh into it fairly. I think a lot of people have felt the last budget process wasn't dealt with fairly, so a group of citizens came in to do that. Deena has not been directly involved in that process, but has weighed in on it a little bit. So let me start with this question, and it's all about, for me, accessibility. Is it a fair process if every registered voter in Brattleboro can directly cast on town decisions? I mean, where do you fall on that line?
I do think it's fair. Part of why I got kind of involved in this process is when I ran for RTM, there was a survey that I think was published in the Brattleboro Reformer of all the candidates and how they felt. And one of the questions that was asked was, do I feel that everyone has the right to a vote on the budget? And I do feel that every citizen in Brattleboro has the right to weigh in on the town budget or any other articles that are prevalent to our town.
Right. Every
citizen has a right to have a vote on that matter.
So here was an interesting thing. Now, you're an RTM member. Well, we're going to talk about what your motivation was to run for that. And through this whole process, in the last, I think about 2 years ago, I realized that Brattleboro is the only town in Vermont that votes with just basically elected officials. You don't show up like everybody till one day, that Tuesday. We have a special day on Saturday. But so what motivated you to become an RTM member?
So there was a lot of things that motivated me. I have worked in this town for over 30 years as a hairdresser. And people sit in my chair, probably 5 to 8 people a day. I work 4 to 5 days a week. So that's around 40 people a day that come and sit in my chair. And repeatedly, people have come with lots of concerns about our town and had been talking to me about all of their concerns and their frustrations. And so that motivated me mostly to become an RTM, and the lack of balance that was on the RTM currently was also the reason why I decided to get myself on the RTM.
So how many years have you been an RTM representative?
Just 1 year.
Just this year?
That's correct.
All right. And I know that you've made, you got up and you spoke a few times at the last RTM. And I mean, how does that, I mean, that is, and we talk about this a lot, how terrifying that can be to certain people. How did you feel doing it?
Well, so it was really terrifying. Your heart bounds out of your chest and you're in front of the camera and a lot of people, and you're trying to voice your opinion, and you feel that you're going to be chastised for your feelings on a specific subject. And that was exactly the case of my experience of getting up and standing up and voicing my opinion on a subject that I felt that I was elected to stand up for.
Right. So democracy, as we know, it doesn't move quickly. It's messy. It's confusing. And when somebody does stand up, like not to be chastised is key. And you did not find the first time you stood up to speak that was not your experience.
No, I got up and I spoke, and somebody came up right behind me and made a snide remark on how I did it improperly, right. And that kind of stung a little bit.
Yeah.
I shook it off, but it just went to prove, how that process is done,
right?
And how inappropriate it was. Later on and months after, I had several people come up to me and thank me for speaking up, and how happy that they were that I did, because they wouldn't have done it. Other RTM members thanked me for doing it, and other citizens also thanked me for standing up and speaking up on their behalf, which was great.
Good. Well, so, I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, that bravery sort of wins out a little bit. But getting back to why this one person, one vote thing is so important is because not everybody has what you have. The ability to stand up, kind of shake it off, feel the fear and do it anyway. But they want to weigh in on these things. So this one person, one vote, do you feel it better reflects the democratic process?
Absolutely. I have talked to, once again, many people, not only in my chair, perhaps, but, I'm part of a cycling community where I talk to people that are not just in my chair, a running community. We get together as a neighborhood as well, a couple times a year, and I chat with my neighbors as well. And a lot of people feel like their voices are not heard. Maybe my views are not representative of my next door neighbor's views. So, as an RTM, I feel like my neighbors should be able to vote, even if it's different than what I stand for.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's the democratic process, right? I mean, that's where that's where the rub happens. That's how we come to something that we as a whole want. And I think sometimes, and the thing that I am very attuned to is making sure that when I am sitting as wearing my select board member's hat, that I'm representing a majority of the people who voted for me when I cast my vote. And that can be difficult. So this is a way to ensure that person who might have voted for me as well also gets to vote independently on this. Agreed?
Oh, absolutely. I agree 100% on that.
All right. Transparency. I guess an Australian ballot system do you feel like it could build more trust to an outcome, since decisions would come directly from the people rather than an elected group of people?
Definitely, because I feel that you've heard and you've seen that people do not trust the RTM anymore.
Right.
They're looking to get rid of the RTM at this point.
Yep.
And because it has not proven to represent the town as a whole. And people are disenchanted.
Yeah.
They want to have their voice heard. So I feel like they need to be able to have their voice heard. And if they get to vote and their vote doesn't go their way, but they'll at least say, you know what, I tried.
Right.
I voted and it didn't go my way. That's that.
But in your heart that you had your say. Your vote was counted. One person, one vote. That's why this petition is in. This is, I think, to your point, this is why RTM is in play now. I think the time has come to basically, if you want to affect some change, just show up. It doesn't have to, anybody can show up to representative town meeting. Anybody can, I guess, speak, but you don't get a vote. You hope that the person that you elected into that position votes the way you want them to. But as you said, I mean, people are often one issue voters. They think with one thing. They don't look at the complete package. And when we're at RTM, there's a bunch of different things that we have to look at.
Right.
Right. So the budget being, of course, the biggest. And so one person, one vote. Here we are again, talking about that. I guess, do you feel like this process would encourage more people to get involved?
I think it would. There's many different ways to get involved. Peter, you're a select board member. So, people can Zoom in to the select board. You guys start the budgeting process, September. Yeah. Is that correct?
I think we've started it already.
Yeah. Okay. So there's ways to chime in. You can email, you can call, you can show up at the select board meetings.
Right.
There's all kinds of different ways, not just on town meeting day when it's all the work has been done. And then you're like, wait, we don't like this now.
Right.
So I think it'd be far more of a productive way to get involved while the budget is being formed.
Right. I think when we chatted when we started here today about how messy democracy can be, and we deal with Robert's Rules of Order, which basically mean you as a citizen are supposed to stand up and know that your comments are supposed to be directed, in your case, to the moderator at a select board meeting, to the chair. People don't often understand that, so we have to direct it so that there's nothing personal taken by it, but. People won't show up to select board meetings because, you've seen it. I know I've seen it. I've witnessed. I've suffered it a few times. 4 and 5 and 6 hour meetings. And people have lives, so they don't show up. So, I think like putting things like one person, one vote in, we can put the budget together, and then you can decide in the privacy of a booth. And I think there's some power to that.
There's a lot of power for that. There's college students that cannot come home to vote, so they can do, a mail-in ballot, or people that are just housebound that cannot, and they want to have a say. So they can, mail in their ballot, and they can do the research on it, and they can have their say on the budget as well.
Right.
So, yes.
Here we go.
And it would only increase the number of people that are available to vote on the budget.
Right. I don't disagree. But what I really kind of want to do right now is sort of thank you for stepping a little bit outside your comfort zone and coming on just as a citizen of Brattleboro, somebody who's been weighing in, has been a little bit more vocal lately. So we wanted to kind of just talk about this issue, not with the people who are putting the thing together, but just somebody who sees the benefit of it or doesn't see the benefit of it. And in this case, you see the benefit to it. And, I don't think anybody who rises up against one person, one vote is, we'll cross that bridge when we get here. But I want to thank you for jumping on Vermontitude today and speaking your piece.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peter, for having me. I just think that, to increase voters and participation cannot be a bad thing at this point.
No.
Cast the net wide, and then, we really know what we'll have. And people will be more happy with the town that we live in.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me, Peter. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming on. We do appreciate it.